What is going on, homies? I'm out on Lake Guntersville, and if you guys have been watching the videos, you notice that I have been catching them on a swim bait. There she is on the old swimmy shimmer. Get in here. Big old full pounder. Dude, I love these swim baits. They're seriously the deal, dude. These Ignite Swimbait take a beating too. And it's not just any swim bait. It's a little bit different than your standard swim baits. And I kind of want to tell you guys about it and do a little walkthrough, you know, how to fish it and all that, but I got one better for you. So I got my buddy Jake right here. You can see what we're going to talk about, Ignite Swimbait. So it's a swim bait that's only available at GTO right now, Guntersville Tackle and Outdoors. It's a different kind of swim bait. It's a full body swim bait with a little bit of an air pocket in it. It's running kind of a little softer plastic. Actually, this is what I should let Jake tell you about. But it's unique. It's different. And one of the things that we know about Guntersville is with the pressure that it gets, with the amount of lures these bass see, you got to be different. You ain't got to change the world, reinvent the wheel, but you got to be that much different. So Jake, tell me a little bit about, let's start with the colors. Yeah. So there's some really unique colors that are specifically made for Guntersville.
Yeah, so there's 20 plus colors that they make. The one that's really hot on Guntersville right now is the TVA Hitch.
That is bad to the bone, dude.
Another one that's really hot that we just designed for waterfront is the Waterfront Special. It's kind of like the TVA Hitch, but it's got a kind of a blue, translucent, gold vein through it.
What's the one that I liked with the darker back, that minnow looking one?
Game Over.
Game Over.
Game Over
I like that. The Game Over has a little bit like darker back. It's not as transparent, so if you get a little bit of stain in the water, something along those lines, it's perfect. Looks like them big gizzard chat with that darker back and that. Tell me a little bit about the action on these though. What makes them different?
So the plastic is a little softer than a lot of those swim baits, but what makes it different is there's a hollow piece, probably an inch wide in the bait. I don't know if you can see it squishing like that. That gives it a little tighter wobble, so that will entice the bass a little bit more than the other swim baits. So that will make the difference in this swim bait than other swim baits.
Jake, you know, one thing that I noticed with it too, I like fishing for like full body swim baits, Kitex, things along those lines. Hollow bodies catch them all the time and they have their time and place, but a full body swim bait in the sense that it's all plastic, it holds the hook a little bit better when you're using those screw lock hooks, but what it also does is it slows the fall rate basically. One of the things I love doing, especially late summer and fall, is throwing like a little Kitex for spots, and what we do is we actually tight line it. We don't actually reel it, we just pendulum it down, and the trick is with that Kitex, since it has that full body, since it's all plastic, it just has this slow sort of fall, and I think with these guys, you're getting that same style action, because I'll put that on a ½ ounce, and I'm just very slowly fishing it to keep it in like 8 to 10, 8 to 12 foot of water. It rides up a little in the water column, but I actually like that.
Yeah, so on Guntersville, there's a lot of people that are starting to do that on the ledges, get a different action towards the fish. You'll put it on a ½ ounce and swim it on the ledges on the grass edges, and then fish will come out of the grass and they'll just smoke it.
Well, and especially we've had a really strong lack of current, I guess. We haven't had rain, so there's not much current, so these fish are acting a little more like lake fish versus river fish. So instead of being tight to the bottom, they're up. They're in a wide range of like the water columns. They're not just down in 12 feet right on the bottom. They're up in 5. They're up 5 feet above the grass. So you need to have your bait have a little more versatility at the depth columns that you can access. And what's nice with this is, yeah, you can put it on the bottom, but you can also ride it up pretty easily. So what else do you got working for the future with these guys?
Yeah, so we do actually got a new color coming in Waterfront. We've been working on it for about 2 weeks now. It's going to be a pretty hot color. But if you want to get these guys, they have a website, ignite.com. You can follow them on Instagram at Ignite Baits. So be looking for a new color. We'll see it. We'll post it all over social media and everything. So be looking for that color in Waterfront and GTO.
So last thing, let's wrap this up on a couple sizes, and then I'm gonna actually show you what I have rigged up and how I set it up. But Jake, so I know is it a 4.5?
5 and a 6 inch in this frenzy mold. This mold's called a frenzy mold.
The frenzy mold. So the 5 is your all standard, dude. That's really the one that I've been catching the most fish on. And what's kind of cool, can you show me that like sideways? Like look at the back. So it's shorter, but it is a wider bait. So it's actually a fairly bulky presentation. It's not huge or anything. What is it? The 6 inch?
Yeah, the 6 inch.
6 inch is big. Like it's big. So if you got bigs, that's what you want to go with. But keep in mind too, though, as we talked about, that full body plastic, if you want to get that thing deep, you're going to have to weight it down. We're talking like 1 ounce, 1 1/4 jig heads to get it down 25, 30 foot, especially if you're dealing with current. So you got to kind of take that into account, that full plastic body, as well as that little air pocket that Jake was showing you. It's going to cause the bait to float up, so you're going to have to adjust your jig heads a little bit. But let me show you how you rig it up, Jake. Appreciate it, bro.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, so let's rig this thing up real quick. So I got the Ignite Swimbait right here, and then I have my jig head of choice. This is what I've actually been fishing a lot on Gunnersville. It's a 1/2 ounce goat head, and the big trick with this is it has that screw lock on it. That's integral for swimbait fishing out here. The reality is, if you use just a standard keeper, a lot of times these baits will slide back, and you know, frankly, this is an expensive swim bait. It's like 10 bucks or something retail out of GTO. So you want to use something that's going to make it last. And what's pretty cool with this, even though it is a pretty soft plastic, they actually hold up. I had one on where I caught 7 fish, 3 of which I think were over 4 pounds, and it didn't tear up. And then finally it just kind of ripped on the back, but it was still fishable. And if I had a little mended, I could probably still use it. But you know, I'm high class elitist, dude. I put a new one on. So what you're gonna do first is you're gonna actually measure the swim bait and see where your hook's gonna come out on the swim bait. So I can see it's gonna be right about there. What I like to do is then take that hook and just make a little mark in the bait so I can know exactly where I wanna pass that hook out. Then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to just thread it on. It's pretty straightforward, just like you would any other soft plastic on a lead head. Slide it on, but then here's where it gets a little fancy. When you actually get to that screw lock, what you want to do is just twist it and basically thread it on there. You're basically screwing it up that screw lock until your head is right there, and you get that awesome presentation just like that. Hook's nice and centered. What's really cool with this bait is you get a really good wag with it set up like this, and it has that awesome fall. But you guys need to try these out. They're Ignite Swimbaits. You can get them at GTO. They're absolutely stellar. A little bit pricey, but it's worth it because you catch some bigs on it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Go check out Ignite. Tight lines. We'll see you back out on the water.